What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mariozilla, or you could call me Vinny, and today we will be taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Tulece. Tulece was revealed to us as a complete surprise. No one saw it coming since back then it wasn't very often to get a non-canon character to make it into the line. Collectors were very excited to get another fan-favorite character in the line. The figure was revealed as a premium Bandai webshop exclusive and comes in at an MSRP of $70, and that's before tax and shipping. However, if you know how web exclusives work, this was a made-to-order figure and will never get reissued after its first and only production run. That being said, will this figure be worth searching for on the aftermarket? Well, get a snack, sit down, relax, and let's see if Tulece is worthy of a spot on your Dragon Ball Z shelf. Let's get the one negative out of the way first. The neck, elbows, and knees have a completely different skin tone than the rest of the body. Can't unsee it now, can you? Well, fortunately, the sculpt and paint on this figure is fantastic. The hair sculpt is brand new and isn't reused from Goku and looks really good. The sculpt work is beautiful. I love the streaks that make it look less blocky. The best this hair has looked. The maniacal face on Tulece is captured really well. The new facial details we've been seeing on the recent Figuarts releases look spot on. And I adore the finish on the armor. It's a very nice pearlescent look. On camera, it appears glossy, but trust me, this is a pearlescent finish. Makes a nice contrast for the matte parts of the armor, works very well. His muscle definition is beefy, sculpted nicely. Despite looking like Goku, his parts are completely new. Nothing is shared between this or any of the Goku mold. As far as my knowledge goes, Tulece looks fantastic. The inconsistent skin tone on the joints is a bit annoying, but thankfully this figure has a lot more good than bad in the looks department. Definitely an A for effort.
Alright, articulation. Tulece is packing some pretty solid movement. I have a lot of fun posing this figure. The way they engineered it, it just works really well. So here we go. Head is on a double ball peg and the neck is on a ball joint, so he can look, just about all the way up, and looking down, just about all the way down. And can look side to side and wibble wobble. The shoulder pads are on swivel hinges, so they have a lot more give when it comes to getting out of the way for the arms. But at the same time, you could still at least get them to look aesthetically pleasing when the arms are posed forward, because it actually looks like it's still flat down despite the gap. Like, it doesn't constantly have to be posed up all the time like the classic Saiyan armor figures, so I appreciate that. And honestly, it just looks better this way. Is it perfect? No, but it's still the better way to design the Saiyan armor figures, in my opinion. Arms are on ball joints. Got some pretty sweet ball jointed movement. Shoulders are on a hinge, and he can get all the way up with the shoulder hinge. That is really good. Biceps can swivel. We have double hinged elbows. He can go just... not just. He does go above 90 degrees, so good on that. There's a ball joint here, and I think in the crotch area, so in total, he can crunch forward just about this much, which is decent. And he can crunch backward a pretty decent amount as well. And there is also a bit of rotation and lean. FYI, when posing the diaphragm, careful with this bit of sculpt right here, because it's very possible to scrape some of the sculpt or scrape some of the paint. So pose this figure with caution and do it carefully so you're not accidentally rubbing up against the sculpt. So be careful when posing this figure. And be careful on the backside too, because I just felt some resistance on that spot. There's no ball joint in the tail, even though it's a separate piece. Like, you see that? It's just a peg. Hinges in all these waist flaps to get out of the way for the legs. Legs can kick forward just about this much. Can kick backward. Actually, not really much at all. His ass is in the way. Can he do the splits? Yes, he can pretty much do the splits. Thighs can swivel. Knees are on a double hinge. He could move them pretty much all the way. Ankles are on ball joints. Actually, is that a ball joint or is that a swivel hinge? That's actually a swivel hinge, so apologies. So he can pretty much go just about this far back with the ankles. He can go this far forward with the ankles. So not a lot forward, but decent amount back. And his ankle rocker is also pretty solid. It's not the best, but it does get the job done. And toes are on a hinge. Although I don't think they move all the way. I'm not going to try and force it. Yeah, this is about as far as they could go. Tulece has a wide variety of poses at your disposal if you know how to pose your figures and know the character. So, if you could get this figure and hoping he has banger articulation, then congratulations, you have just that. He is a lot of fun to pose.
Now for accessories, and he comes with a lot of stuff. Everything he needs, and then some. FYI, the Scouter is universal for all the faces. He doesn't come with an extra earpiece to make it look like it's off. So when interchanging the faces, don't forget about the Scouter. And it's a small piece, so please be careful. Seriously, I almost lost mine twice when interchanging the faces. It was not fun trying to reach it if it fell under something. For the faces, he has his smirking face that was on him in the package. Next is an angry, teeth-gritted face, a screaming, yelling face, and a face to make it look... No, I can't take this seriously. We all know this is supposed to be him eating the fruit from the Tree of Might, but look at it! Bandai knew exactly what they were doing here. For the hands, he comes with 2 fist hands that were on him in the package, a right hand holding the fruit from the Tree of Might, but unfortunately, the fruit is fixed in the right hand. You can't change it between the hands. Kinda lame. Next for the hands are 2 open kinda clutched hands, 2 open blast hands, and the same pair of open blast hands but with peg holes for the blast effect. Here's the effect. Gorgeous gold and silver colors making for a nice contrast, and like most blast effects, it does have some transparency. Tulece includes these pegs for the blast effect. The curved peg to make it look like he's charging the effect, and the straight peg to make it look like he's blasting the effect out. Make sure to connect the ball jointed ends in the back of the effect itself. Next is the crossed arms accessory. Like normal, you pop out both arms from the biceps and put in the crossed arms. However, getting the crossed arms back out is a pain and difficult to do, so be careful not to break the pegs on any of the arms. Use caution. Finally, his cape accessory, which looks really nice, also has a bit of a pearlescent finish, and the sculpt is top notch. Love the wavy effect it has. Now this was already on Tulece straight out of the package, but it felt better to do sculpt and paint without this thing on. Regardless, putting the cape back on is easy. Pop off the head and put the cape on. Make sure his left shoulder pad goes in the indent of the cape that fits the pad. So Tulece is a solid package for his price point. Honestly, besides having the fruit interchangeable between hands, I don't have many issues with the accessories. Tulece has all he needs for display. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not own. Tulece is a little taller than Goku, which is fine, since he was a bit more built than Goku anyway. So he makes for a good size with other characters, in case you need him fighting Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, etc. Tulece goes great with everyone. Tulece is a treat to have in the Figuarts line at long last. I'd say the wait was well worth it. There's a reason a lot of collectors are saying how good he is. Is he the best of the best? One of the best, top 10 for sure. Whatever issues I mentioned are nitpicks besides the inconsistent skin tone on the joints mentioned earlier in the review. If you can, try to hunt him down. You're doing your collection an injustice without him. He's on the aftermarket, and I think the lowest you can possibly get him is $100. I don't know that for sure. Do not quote me on that. I'm too lazy to fact check. Point is, if you see him for a good price, snag him. I'll give Tulece a 9 out of 10.